Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to analyze the consumer behavior by another approach which is called ordinal approach. Previously we were talking about the consumer behavior when utility could be measured in terms of numbers, and we developed the consumer analysis by using the two laws. One of them is law of diminishing monocularity, another was the principle of equimonocularity or law of equimonocularity. They both of them are used to analyze the consumer behavior, how rational consumer is able to maximize total satisfaction within given income and the prices of the goods consumed. And later on we critically evaluated that this theory of utility approach is unrealistic on the grounds that utility cannot be measured in terms of numbers. This is something invisible, non-material, which cannot be measured. There is no measuring tool, there is no measuring method in order to see how much utility or satisfaction is gained by the consumer. Okay. Now, ordinal approach says consumers can rank the goods. What they can do? They can rank the goods according to the satisfaction derived. We can study the consumer preferences, but we can't say how much satisfaction or utility is gained by the consumer by consuming a commodity. It cannot be measured in terms of any unit. For example, one of you like to have a burger. Another liking of the same student is a chicken burger, a chicken, you can see, meat item. Okay, if burger gives you more satisfaction than chicken meat, so you can see, you can rank the goods that every time you will be preferring burger over chicken fried meat, because burger gives you more satisfaction than chicken fried meat. Clear or not? But you can't say how much satisfaction you have gained by consuming a burger or chicken fried meat. Okay? We cannot say with certainty how much is the satisfaction. But you can rank the two goods, that one good is giving you more satisfaction, that's why you prefer it more to another. Every time a rational consumer will rank the goods in the same way. Okay, your ranking can be different from another student, or with me you can differ, because according to satisfaction every consumer is having different ranking of the goods. Clear? There is no hard and fast measurement rule to measure the satisfaction. So this ordinal approach is basically using the two tools in order to explain or analyze the consumer behavior. One of that tool is called budget line. Another tool we will be studying it later, that is indifference curve. So both these tools are used to explain the consumer behavior, that he or she is a rational consumer. She wants to get the maximum satisfaction out of the money spent. But the best value of money a consumer wants to achieve by consuming the goods. So first of all, we are going to study the budget line, which is the financial tool of the consumer. Suppose, what do we mean by budget? If I ask you, being the student of economics, how can you define budget? Listen to this term many times, that federal government is announcing its budget, provincial government is announcing its budget. So what is the actual meaning of budget?
The total money you have, जो कि आप spend कर सकते हैं, the
Yes.
total money.
That shows the balance between the total income and its expenditures. If you are planning to have this much of expenditure in this coming months. So how much income is required? How you are able to raise that income? Actually, this is the meaning of budget. Clear? So same concept can be applied to the individual consumer, because we are nowadays studying microeconomics, not macro. In macro, budget is having a meaning about the planning of the country for the next year. But in case of microeconomics, we say how much consumer is going to spend his income at given prices of the goods in the market. So when you go to the market, what you keep with you, that is the income you are keeping. And when you go to the market, the prices of the goods, they are the market signals. They are actually informing you how much you can afford within your income. If prices are increasing and you are having the fixed income, you will be able to buy less quantity of everything, because market signals are that your real purchasing power has gone down because prices have increased. And if you are increasing your income and prices are remaining same, then in real terms you can buy more, because now you are having more nominal income in your pocket. Clear? So budget line shows us the consumer's affordability. What does it show? It shows budget line, it is written like this, BL. Budget line shows the affordability of consumers, affordability of the consumer to buy two goods. We are specified to two goods model. Two goods, for example, X and Y, at given income and the prices of the goods. Okay? And given income and the prices of X and Y. Alright? This is basically showing us how much a consumer can afford. Clear? In our previous lesson, I made one of the table related to the cardinal approach, law of equivalence, when I took the variables income and prices of X and Y to see how much quantities of X and Y a consumer can afford. Clear? If you remember, I took income is denoted by M in microeconomics. Clear? So we write over here, income of the consumer is $12, where is the price of X is $2 and price of Y is $1. If you remember, we use these figures in order to see how many bundles of X and Y consumer would afford within $12 and prices of X and Y, which are also given by the market. Now I'm going to write the budget equation. Now income of the consumer is equal to price of X and quantity of X. Like he is spending his income on two goods, X and Y. So this is actually showing us what expenditure on commodity X. Suppose it is food or clothing. This is the expenditure of consumer on commodity X, plus he is buying two goods in price of Y into quantity of Y. Can I say this is a budget equation, that income of the consumer equals to the expenditures on X and Y. This is expenditure on X, this is expenditure on Y. Clear? Now I am going to find the 2 points of budget line, then I will draw it in front of you, and what we will be seeing that what is happening to the budget line if prices are going to change or income of the consumer is going to change. Now suppose consumer is not buying any unit of Y, he is spending all his income on commodity X. So if income is given to us, prices are given to us, then he is asking us to find the quantity of X or quantity of Y. So how much is the income? 12 over 2. That is the 6 units consumer can afford within this income. When all his income is spent on commodity X. If you remember, I made this analysis 6 and 0, 5 and 2, 4 and 4, 3 and 6, 2 and 8, 1 and 10, 0 and 12. Clear? So when he is buying 0 of Y, he is able to buy maximum of 6. So when he is able to buy all Y at 0x, the 12 units he will be able to buy. Now I can write another way around. Now if he is having all his income spent on Y, like X is 0. So how much income will be spent? So the maximum of Y will be price, that income over price of Y. You can write 12 over 1. That is 12. This is called vertical intercept of the budget line. Previously, I wrote another intercept, that is M over price of X, where we wrote this thing 12 over 2, that is 6. This is called horizontal intercept. This is called vertical intercept. I am going to draw the budget line right now. Look here. I am drawing the two axes. Here I am taking good X, here I am taking good Y. This is 0 point. When all his income is spent on X, nothing of Y is put here. This is point M over price of X. You can say it is 6. This is the horizontal intercept. And when all his income is spent on Y, this is M over price of Y, that is 12. Clear? If we join these 2 points, what we get? This is the budget line. The consumer's budget line. Where all these points, X and Y, all these bundles, they are lying along this line. All these bundles are affordable, where all income spent is equal to the expenditure of the consumers. That $12 he is spending on 2 goods. So these are the possible bundles which are lying along this budget line. Clear or not? Consumer cannot go beyond his income. He cannot spend more than income. This is the maximum. This is a constraint. Budget constraint. This is a hindrance that consumer can lie on this budget line. He cannot go beyond it until unless his income increases or he borrows from someone else. Within given income, this is the boundary line. He cannot go beyond it. He can have a consumption below it where income is more than expenditures. That means he or she is going to save some part of income. So when all income is spent, then this is the affordability line or budget line of the consumer. Clear now? I'm going slowly because it requires more conceptual learning rather than to go fast. Okay? Now can I say this budget line is downward sloping? Downward slopes means what? When consumer wants to increase X, he has to decrease Y. What is the slope? This is the slope. Change in Y over change in X. If consumer moves from this point to this one, so what is happening? Here I have written 12 and 6. So every time consumer has to give up 2 units of Y to have 1 extra unit of X. This is the slope. This is constant sloped. Downward sloping, that when he decreases Y, he will be able to increase 1 unit of X by giving up 2 units of Y. How to write the slope? I am writing it change in Y over change in X slope, I'm writing negative sign with it. Divide this m over p of y, divide it by m over p of x. The vertical intercept will be divided by the horizontal intercept. This is now the double division. Can you solve it by yourself? Okay. This is m over p of y divided by m over p of x. So if we move this division sign, we have to write the multiplication sign, and this will be inverted now. So what is this? M over price of y multiplied by price of x over m. M is cancelled out. What is the slope now? Minus price of x over price of y, and you are given the prices $2 and $1. So what is the slope now? Minus 2. This actually tells us the rate of change. Slope means what? The rate of change. In order to have an extra unit of x, how many units of y will be given up? 2. Or in order to have an extra unit of y, consumer has to give up half of x. Clear? Other way around it is also true. If he moves from here to this side, he has to give up half of x to get one extra unit of y. Clear? So this is called the slope of budget line. Now you can also see over here, what is this? This is change in y over change in x. Here I have written change in y on the numerator side and change in x over denominator. Look at the slope. Price of x is inversely related to the quantity of x. It describes a demand relationship. That price and quantity of x, they are inversely related. When price of x increases, consumer will be buying less of x. I will tell you how. Okay. And price of y is also inversely related to the quantity of y. So yes, there is an inverse relation. Okay. In both the goods. So slope change in y or change in x is their price ratio actually. That's equal to their inverse of price ratios. Not directly, but inverse of the price ratios. Clear? Now one by one I am going to change the prices of x and y, and then we will see what happens to the shape of this budget line. Clear? I will tell you. Now see, I am saying this is our budget line where I took 6 units of x and 12 units of y. Now suppose price of x increases, here I draw price, income is $12, price of x is $2 and price of y is $1. Now if price of x moves to $4, what is happening? I have increased the price of x. Clear? So if you find that, how much x now he will be able to find? Income, nominal income remains same. $12, he is having the same income as before. But what happens? Its price has increased. How many units are now? In real terms, his income has gone down. Instead of 6, now he is able to buy only 3 units. Can I say budget line will have pivotal inward shift? It will rotate inward. It has become more steeper. If you look here, 4 over 1, slope will be increasing. It has become steeper. Less quantity of x is now afforded within the same income. Iski price change nahi hai. Price of x has increased, therefore budget line will have inward rotation. And vice versa. What does it mean? If price of x falls to $1, then what happens? Then it will have outward rotation. Here it will be not 12. So within $12, he will be able to afford 12 maximum of x. So when I see when price of x falls, budget line will rotate outward. It will become flatter. Isn't it? But is how consumer affordability in real terms changes when price of good in the market that changes. When prices are rising within our given income, our real affordability will decrease. And when prices fall in the market, although we are having the same income in our pocket, but our purchasing power in real terms that has increased. Clear or not? Now change the price of Y. Instead of $1, you see if its price is now $0.5. I have decreased the price of Y. So now, here it is. This is 6 and this is 12. So when price of Y falls, here if you write 0.5, 2 over 0.5, there will be 24 now. So we can have an outward rotation of the budget line from the vertical side. Now we will be able to afford 24 units within the $12 because its price has been decreased by 50%. Clear or not? So when price of Y decreases, budget line will have pivotal outward shift from the vertical side. It depends which good you are taking on which axis. You can take Y on X axis and you can take X on Y axis. Yes. So anyone now here the price of Y has decreased, so budget line will rotate outward. Clear? Its price of X remains same. I am changing one by one. Now if price of Y increases, what happens? It will have, suppose now its price moves to $2. If I say $2, now it has been doubled. So now it will have this rotation. It will be 6 and 6. Clear? So when price of X falls, budget line will rotate outward from the horizontal axis due to price fall in X. And when price of Y falls, it will have an outward rotation from the Y axis and vice versa. Clear? So this is how when the prices of X and Y, they are going to change, there will be change in the slope of budget line. Slope or rate of change that has changed. Clear? Now it may happen in the market that consumer income in nominal terms that has increased. Income may also change. Like here, now your income moves to $24. Keeping the prices same for X and Y. Now suppose X and Y. Previously we were having 6 and 12. Now income moves to $24. The income is double. Prices remain same. So budget line will have parallel outward shift. Here it will be 12 and now 24. Slope is not changing due to increase in income. Yes, parallel outward shift. Your affordability has increased. If I am paid more income, my affordability in nominal terms that has increased. So budget line will have parallel. I am saying parallel outward shift because prices haven't changed. If you are having non-parallel shift, that means prices have also been changed. So if income decreases, what happens? Parallel inward shift. You can see 3 and 6. If income goes to $6, if income decreases to $6, budget line will have parallel downward shift. Clear? So we have analyzed one of the topic, that is the budget line. Budget line basically shows the consumer's affordability. This is understanding and knowledge about the budget line. That shows the consumer's affordability within given income and the prices of the two goods which he is going to buy or she is going to buy in the market. And then we wrote the budget equation, we took the values, then we found the horizontal intercept, vertical intercept. By joining them, we are able to draw a budget line, and we saw how many bundles of different goods are afforded by consumer. And then we analyzed what is the rate of change or slope of this budget line. and upon which it depends. It depends upon the relative price ratios of X and Y. And then we analyzed by using the diagram and numerics that if prices of X and Y they are going to change, how will budget line will be changing in its slope? And when only income has changed, what happens to the budget line? It will have parallel shift. Okay? Sometimes in our MCQs paper we have this thing that previously this is JK budget line. Now it has become MM budget line. And in the lower part they have given us two things, price of X and income. Now what happens to price of X? It has decreased. That's why consumer is buying more. And why consumer is buying less of Y? No, its income has gone down. The consumer income has gone. The price of Y information is not given to us. Only two information are given. One is the price of X and income of the consumer. So why consumer is buying more of X? Because his price has gone down. And why is he buying less of Y? Because his income has gone down. Clear? So this type of crossing budget lines can be seen in your MCQs paper, where you have to find out the right answer. If you are making a little mistake, your answer may go wrong. Clear? So I gave you one hint of the MCQ in the exam from this topic of budget line. So go through this topic at home. Try to practice it with your own figures, with your own values of income and prices of the two goods, and see what happens. Clear? That's all for today, I think. And by the next lesson, we will be doing the indifference curve.